let's make this short, sweet, and simple because there's nothing to talk about. Congrats to Seattle. I wanna come out and say this. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for once again beating a banged up and extremely terrible NFC East rival in the Philadelphia Eagles by a score of once again 17-9. You did it. You beat us, and you're moving on. Good job. I'm proud of you guys. I really am. Proud of the way that you guys beat a team with no starter playing outside of the offensive line, or 3 players on the offensive line and tight end who's playing with a broken rib too. But congratulations to Jadeveon Clowney. I wonder how much money he's both going to receive and be fined for putting Carson Wentz out the way he did. I'm really proud to have witnessed a scumbag of all scumbag players played dirty in order to beat a team that they most likely would not have beaten if they had just not done that. Because let's face it, Carson Wentz was on a roll. The offense was struggling on both teams, both Seattle, both Philly, both were struggling. Jadeveon just took a shot, and not only did he get away with it, but he succeeded. He took the quarterback out. Props. Congratulations, because you, sir, are going to get fined, and you're probably going to be getting your asses kicked in Green Bay. So, good job. Way too many injuries on this team. Well, obviously. I titled this a reset for the NFC East for a reason, because let's face it, every single team in this NFC East is resetting themselves in some way. The Eagles are most likely going to be getting everything, resetting everything as far as players that they have, getting healthier, questioning their medical staff, all that stuff. It's off-season time, exactly. Yes, it's off-season time. And, it's kind of like last year, except last year I was happier after losing the playoff game. Not only because we won a playoff game, but just in the fashion that we lost it. And it wasn't because of any dirty bullshit or anything else like that. But, no, the last play doesn't say it all at all, Sean Fitzpatrick. I know what you're... Listen, I respect you, and you're great. You know a lot about football. I know you do. We've had a lot of talks, and I agree with you on everything. But listen, this game was decided the moment that Carson Wentz got knocked out on purpose, blatantly. No, you can't tell me otherwise, because Josh McCown, props to him, he played his heart out with a bad leg and everything. I don't know what happened to his leg, but he was clenching his butt cheek for the entirety of the fourth quarter, and they just couldn't get it done, especially 2 shots in the red zone, couldn't get it done. Miles Sanders dropped the first down pass that. Who knows what would have happened if he had caught it. Could have probably broken it for 15, 20 yards, maybe a touchdown. Who knows? But no matter what you can say, Carson Wentz leaving the game with an injury that was done the way it was done, that is the biggest blow of this game. Doesn't matter, because Brandon Graham came back. Zach Ertz played his heart out with a lacerated kidney and a broken rib and everything. He played good. I mean, there were no turnovers on either side of the ball. It was just the Seahawks. They did one thing, and that was get Carson Wentz hurt on purpose too. That's all they had to do, and they did it. And no one in the NFL is going to call the penalty. No one's going to look at that and say, yeah, he played him dirty. But we can only look to the people in the media tomorrow to analyze and talk about it, because let's face it, everyone's going to be talking about it, because Carson Wentz, my boy Carson Wentz, my quarterback, got cheated out of his first playoff start, and nobody knows how this game could have truly gone had he not gotten taken out the way he did, because it's absolute motherfucking bullshit, all right? There's a lot of changes that have to be made, of course, but at the end of the day, the way that this game went down was not how it should have gone down, and the Seattle Seahawks are the biggest frauds in the entire playoff run this season, okay? That's the truth. No one can change my mind about this. They're going to go in Lambeau, and Aaron Rodgers is going to whoop their asses so hard that they're going to come back to Seattle and forget who the fuck they are. That's the truth right there. That's how it's going to go. That's how it's going to go. But we got to focus on the now and the future for this team. That's why this is all about. That's why this is all about the reset, because Redskins got Ron Rivera, Giants and the Cowboys both are getting new head coaches, and the Eagles, they need to restock and reload and figure out what they got to do with these injuries. These players that have shown no heart, the medical staff. A lot of things are going to be changed moving forward, because there are a lot of issues on this team, and despite all that, the will and the toughness and the resiliency and everything kept this team together, and no matter what, that's the biggest thing as well. This team wanted it, and they wanted it so badly, and they, again, fell short in the past two postseasons, even with the injuries and everything. They made it here, they made it this far, and they couldn't do it, and because of whatever reason, doesn't matter. We got to move forward, right? Even though it's as bullshitty as it is, but y'all going to keep the same team next season. Medical staff, offensive coordinator, everything. We'll see, man. We'll see. And your team is going to be completely different, and I'm excited to see what the Cowboys are going to do, because the NFC East next year is a real big question mark, no matter what. Hence the title of this stream. I'm not going to be on it for too long, because again, there's not much to talk about with this game, because at the end of the day, the Eagles, they were just too hurt, they were injured, all that stuff. You know, Eagles could have won this game, yes. They had their chances, and with Wentz going out, that the chances lowered. But at the end of the day, you know, it's going to be interesting seeing what happens. Let's see what you just said here. Thank you to Sean for not having your injury earlier, and Jordan Howard is done here. Yeah, I feel bad about saying that, but I agree. I think Jordan Howard is probably going to be done. I'm surprised, even with him being active for last week's game and today, that he didn't play a single down. It's shocking. And Deshaun Jackson, I mean, that's a whole different situation. I feel bad for him because he wanted to play, and that was the whole thing that was driving him. He knew what was possible with him here. I mean, you saw him week 1, 2 touchdowns, 150 yards pass, receiving and everything. Whether he stays here or not, which I believe he's going to stay, I just believe the Eagles got to look to the draft now. They got to look in free agency. They got to find people. They got to find new players. I think they really need to try their hardest to move on from Alshon Jeffrey, because injuries and his attitude, it's not good for the locker room, and it's not good for this team. And the way he played, even when he was healthy, is not going to help us whatsoever. Jordan Howard being injured, the way he was injured, is not going to help us. Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert are the real deal at tight end. Those are two of the greatest tight ends in the league right now, and they will be for the foreseeable future, which is something that Wentz is definitely going to have to his advantage once he's 100% healthy and everything coming back. Miles Sanders and Boston Scott, that new tangent right there, running back, is going to be huge. Nelson Aguilar is going to get his ass kicked out of Philadelphia, and never, ever will he return unless he's playing for some other team in a different uniform. The Eagles got a lot of things to clear up. They got a lot of things to work on. But the one thing that I have 100% now have full confidence in is Doug Peterson and Howie Roseman. Despite everything, I questioned both Doug Peterson and Howie Roseman this season with not getting wide receivers, with specific play calling and everything. The biggest thing that I took away from this is that the depth going as far back as practice squad was definitely bigger than we expected. Names like Greg Ward, Boston Scott, making plays when we needed to, or when we needed them to, and then Doug Peterson for rallying all these guys up after everything that happened between Minnesota, Dallas, Orlando Scandrick, Josanna Anderson, Alshon Jeffrey, all the controversy and everything, to bring this team back from death, essentially, with the way that everything went, was remarkable. And to win the NFC East the way we did with backups and practice squad players shows a lot to the coaches. Medical staff definitely has got to be really reevaluated, without a doubt. And I hope that the Carson Wentz is okay. We'll see what's happening. I know he's probably like devastated, because let's face it, this was his time to shine. This was his moment. First playoff game and everything, and to not only get knocked out but to be targeted like that, it's the worst way to go out. It's beyond the worst way. This was just completely and utterly unnecessary, and it makes me hate the NFL even more. I've been hating the NFL with the shitty referees, the way that the Patriots have cheated their way into a couple playoffs, and now they got their chance, last year with the way that the Chiefs game ended in the championship game. I mean, there are so many issues. And then, of course, even going back to last week with the 49ers game, the no call on pass interference in the end zone that could have gotten the 49ers knocked out of the number 1 seed. There are so many issues with referees, with the pass interference system, with no calls, and just overall everything. There's so many issues that they just do not want to take a look at. And at the end of the day, the NFL's got to really reevaluate themselves, because they are one of the biggest issues with these football games. It's between referees and the plays, and the rules, and just missing a lot of obvious calls because they're afraid of throwing the flag, and they just let the players play. Like it's frustrating to try and talk about it, to try and put it into words. But you know what? Again, got to move forward, right? I did the exact same thing last year where I came on stream and I was calm mannered, and I was just like, we got to move forward, we got to move forward, we got to move forward. Last year was about moving forward without Foles. This year is moving forward and hitting the reset button. Everybody in the NFC East is going to be doing it, and at this moment, I would say the Dallas Cowboys have the upper hand, even without a head coach, because of the talent that they have on their team and the health on that team as well. The Eagles need to reevaluate a lot of things, and hopefully it starts with the players that have caused the most havoc, i.e. Alshon Jeffrey and Nelson Aguilar offensively, and then defensively getting rid of a couple people that just did not execute at all in the big-time moments. Jalen Mills, Avonte Maddox, Crayvon LeBlanc. I mean, the secondary today was atrocious. DK Metcalf proved to us why we should have went for him over J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and yeah, we should have went after DK Metcalf instead of Arcega-Whiteside. I know Sean Fitzpatrick and a couple other people have been saying it. I've been seeing the comments as I've spoken, and I agree. We missed out on DK Metcalf, and that's on Howie. That's on the draft team. That's on the coaching staff. That's on everybody for not pulling the trigger on him. So, Eagles lose the game and end their season. It's yeah, I agree with you, JJ. That's why it hurt. I know that's why it hurts the most, not just to us as the fans, but to Carson and to the team, because let's face it, he was their best chance. He's the reason why they got into the playoffs, and Jadeveon Clowney knew what he was doing. He went straight for him because he knew. He knew that Carson was the spark that lit this fire going into the postseason, and he took his shot and didn't even have to try and get away with it. He just hopped back up and ran to the sidelines did it, and Carson's out. So whatever happens to Jadeveon Clowney, there's nothing probably more than like a $500,000 fine or something. Whatever, he's not going to get any discipline thrown onto him. He's not going to get suspended for the next game. Like a play like that, I saw a Cowboy fan in my comments of the halftime say that was a legal hit because Wentz was not sliding, he was diving forward. He was getting tackled regardless, and while it technically is okay to go for that hit, leading with the helmet is a fucking penalty. If you don't understand that, you don't know what football is. You do not lean your head forward to hit anybody, whether they are diving forward or running towards you. That's a penalty, and it's called leading. So to that Dallas Cowboy fan, his name is Vic-G. You know who you are. It was an illegal hit. You're an idiot. Get out of my stream. That's all I gotta say. Cowboy X Factor, thank you. You are now the only Dallas Cowboy fan that I know of that watches my videos that has a brain. Because it was an illegal hit, and it makes me sick to my stomach that people defend it. Did you guys remember Jadeveon Clowney when he was with the Texans on Foles, the face mask, tug him down with the head and just throw him down? It's the same exact thing. Where was the penalty on that? We don't know, and we'll never find out, because guess what? Bullshit. Jadeveon Clowney's a scumbag, bro. Let's see what you guys have been saying. I've missed on a couple of you guys. That was a 30 hit on Wentz. My Skins do well with Ron Rivera. Yeah, we'll see what happens with your Skins, bro, because it'll be interesting. Ron Rivera's a good coach for you guys too. Again, reset button. That's all 2020 is about. New decade, reset button for everybody. They do need to redo the refs for the next year. The Saints got screwed again. Yeah, the Saints got screwed in more ways than one. They got screwed in the 49ers versus Seahawks game, and then today they got screwed, but at the end of the day, they fell short as well. So it's crazy. Refs got paid off by the Seahawks, most likely. Wouldn't surprise me. Also completed. That's all you can ask for. Wentz got done dirty. Yeah, Wentz did get done dirty. Y'all keep the same team next season, medical staff and everything. He would have played if he had surgery sooner. Yes, but the thing about it is that while they suggested it, they also did say that Deshaun Jackson could potentially heal without surgery, and that's what he wanted to do. That was his decision, and clearly it backfired, but at the end of the day, you know how it went. Just hope that Wentz is okay physically and mentally. I'm going to be talking about this a lot moving forward to start off the offseason videos, because this is huge for Carson, because let's face it, the past 2 years he's been under scrutiny for not playing in the playoffs because he's been hurt, and Nick Foles has led the way, won a Super Bowl, won a playoff game in those appropriate years. But this one, like the first 2 years, the ACL tear, again, it was non-contact on the jump for a touchdown that didn't matter in Week 14 against the Rams. We know that. That was him being a reckless younger player who had a nose for the end zone. Last year, he had no offensive help half the time. He was getting hit a lot, took the most sacks up until this year, and he got hurt in the back and played through it because he wanted to be there for his team. That's what a leader does. They don't want to sit on the sidelines when they know that they could be out there playing better not just for himself but for the team, winning games. At the end of the day, Nick Foles ended up doing what he did, got us in the playoffs. But this year, it's so much different because the way it happened. And I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but the Seahawks, the respect for Pete Carroll and the Seahawks. I have all the respect for Russell Wilson. He is one hell of a player that in 2012 the Eagles could have drafted, but they went for Nick Foles instead. I have the utmost respect for him because he is an amazing player, and I love Russell Wilson because he is not a douchebag. He's not a scumbag. He plays the game with all his heart, and he's a great player, a great person, and I have the utmost respect for him. But Pete Carroll and the defense of the Seattle Seahawks, they can go suck a dick because that was atrocious, and they applauded it. So, hey. You're not the only one that the Seahawks played dirty against my Redskins in 2012. Yeah, there's a lot of history going back with Pete Carroll playing dirty against teams, isn't there? It's just, it's amazing. Our team will be different next year. Wentz makes them look better. It's crazy how ever since Mike Groh has become our offensive coordinator, our offense has been looking the way they do. Don't know what they're doing and playing like trash. I agree. I've called for Mike Groh's job ever since he first got hired because I did not agree with it at all. Deuce Staley should have easily gotten the offensive coordinator job instead of Mike Groh. And you're seeing why, because Deuce Staley has done one hell of a job with these running backs, and he didn't get the call for offensive coordinator, while Mike Groh did for 1 year of a wide receiver coach. Well, yes, we won a Super Bowl with him still. He outcoached Doug Peterson again. I'm going to disagree with you on that once again, Sean, because no, he did not. I don't agree with that. So, goodbye to Jason Peters, Howard, Jeffrey, Aguilar, many more. Hopefully I hope that I honestly want the Redskins. I want the entire NFC East to really step it up. You know, like it's been fun for the Eagles to sweep the Redskins and sweep the Giants, but I want some more competition with everybody. I'm tired of the Cowboys. I want it to be down the line between the Eagles and Redskins, Eagles and Giants. I want the rivalry between other teams to be bigger and I want the NFC East to be great again. I don't want to sound like you know who when I say that, but I just want the NFC East to be a powerhouse. I want the NFC East to be what the South was like 2 years ago when the Falcons and Saints were two of the best offenses. I want to see what it could be like with all the young quarterbacks in Haskins, in Jones, Wentz, Prescott, all four of those guys leading the way, scoring points, having a good team, and just good seasons. You know, I want to see the division be great. I want it to be fun, and I don't want to see any more 4-12, 3-11 teams or 3-13 teams. So I do think the Redskins are going to be a factor next season. I wouldn't count them out. That's for sure. With the way the Cowboys and Eagles are right now, I wouldn't count anybody out. Right now, again, it's a mystery how the NFC East is going to be. We need to end the injury bug. Yes, we really do. We need to really look at this medical staff and question what they're doing, because clearly they're doing something wrong. As far as offensive coordinator, I agree. I want Mike Groh out as offensive coordinator. Jim Schwartz just needs more players. He needs better players. He's a better secondary, and we're going to need more people to come in for extra help at linebacker. Obviously, linebacker is a big area that we're dealing with injuries and don't have a lot of talent. And then on the line, we need to keep restocking and retooling, because people like Malik Jackson, who are supposed to be big improvements and big time I'm stumbling on my words. Big time helpers. They're supposed to help everybody, and they just weren't able to because of injuries and whatnot. There's something up with the medical staff, and I think that's got to be looked at. If your team was healthy, y'all could have won. Exactly. If we had like 2 players, those being like Deshaun Jackson and then like Malik Jackson or somebody, like we could have definitely won this game. Don't say Wentz is injury prone. While that it most likely kind of is true, you can't blame that hit on him when the guy went for him, literally back of the head, helmet to helmet contact, slammed him into the ground face first. Like, I can't put that on Wentz, even though you can say what you want, maybe he should have been sliding with feet first or whatever. Either way, you shouldn't be going after the quarterback like that. It's just whatever. Mike Rowe doesn't even talk to Carson Wentz or McCown on the sidelines. He doesn't interact with the players at all. It's really strange, and I don't understand it. People don't want Wentz in the playoffs because they're scared. I can understand why you would say that, because let's face it, we haven't been able to see him in the playoffs. We see what he can do in the regular season. He led this team with backups to the playoffs. They went right after him, so cheap shot, man. Cheap shots. As a dire Giants fan, I feel your pain. That should have been a penalty on Jadeveon Clowney. Thank you, man. Much respect for you and your Giants. You guys are up and coming, and I can't wait to see the rivalry between Daniel Jones and Carson Wentz. Whatever head coach you guys get, I'll definitely talk about it. It'll be really interesting. I plan to be more active with YouTube. You know, like I've been streaming more on Twitch lately. I'm going to be streaming a little bit later tonight with some friends. So if you want to hear us be full-on idiots, then feel free to hop on a Sacred Gary on Twitch. But I want to be more active on here with you guys. I want to talk more, stream more, talk more football, talk more NFC East, not just Eagles. That's what I plan to do in 2020. Haven't made a video about talking about that yet, but I do plan to. But let's see what else you guys have been saying. That was an illegal hit. And what is my peer talking about? Yeah, I don't know. It was dirty. I watched it just now 1,000 times, and it's awful. He puts his helmet right down to the target, which was clearly Carson's head. Thank you. I agree. It's bad. It's really bad. Josh McCown crying. Yeah, that was Josh McCown's first playoff game as far as playing. He's been in playoff games as a backup, but that was his first one that he actually played in. And you could tell how much he wanted to win because he signed up to be that player, to be in that role if needed, and he got his number called, and he did come up short. The offense came up short when it mattered most, twice in the fourth quarter. Nobody can, deny on that. But I give props to him because, again, 40 years old, 17-year vet, bro. Like, you don't see a lot of players doing what he was able to do. And it was just very emotional. A lot of players were emotional. This guy, I bet you $100,000 bajillion Carson Wentz was crying his eyes out when they said that he couldn't return because his wife actually was escorted to the locker room, too, to be with him. So clearly he was either frustrated emotionally or devastated emotionally, and maybe even both. But whatever's going through Carson Wentz's head right now, it's not good, and that's why I'm so heavy on what happened with Jadeveon Clowney and the way that it happened and the people that defend the hits, because you don't know what that does to him, not just physically but mentally in the state that Carson Wentz is in and the place that Carson Wentz was in, the position that he put himself into after the last 2 years of him being in Nick Foles' shadow, munching off of the success that he did prior to the runs that Foles had. Like, that's why I'm so adamant about him being my quarterback, because he doesn't deserve this shit. He doesn't deserve to have to watch his backup quarterback, his best friend, go on 2 playoff runs and then have this happen to him when he has a shot to prove himself in the postseason and he gets taken out on a cheap shot by a scumbag player who did the same thing, or at least attempted to Foles the year prior with a different team. So, like, there's a lot of factors that go into it, and that's why I'm so adamant about it, and that's why I can't give up on this guy, because this guy deserves better, and it all starts not just with him playing better. Obviously not. It requires that our front office, our GM, get some players running. I see a couple people saying it already in the comments. We need wide receivers. We need a new, younger offensive line. We're already getting younger running backs in Scott and Miles Sanders, who have had so much success behind Carson Wentz. You see Greg Ward, he's probably going to stick around because he balled out this year when we needed him to. So Eagles got to get younger, and they got to get playmakers from the draft, from wherever they can, younger, better players to help Carson Wentz out. I see the future being bright for our division. Hell yeah, I agree. I can't wait to see what the NFC is going to be like in the years to come. It's going to be really fun. I hate to talk about religion, but as religious as Wentz is, I'm sure that just adds more pain to Wentz. He really feels like he's being. Oh no, for sure, and that's another thing between him and Foles. Like you always hear them both talking about God and how much they believe in God and how much their religion means to them and what they always talk about how that this is God's plan, right? Like, and I'm not religious at all, but I respect it. Of course, I'm not gonna bash on it or anything. Like, I respect every religion. I respect what everybody believes in. And when you hear Carson talking about when he tore his ACL, that God has put me on this path, I'm going to come back stronger, healthier than ever. And then he talks about him personally last year, talking about how he was hurt. He was jealous a little bit over Foles doing what he did when he felt like he could have done it himself. And now this year being the moment where he's thrusted into that spot where everyone's going down around him. Everybody's getting hurt. The team is in shambles. The media is laughing and talking about how bad they are, how injured they are, how much they're not going to be able to succeed. They win the division, and he gets this opportunity, and somebody just comes in with all 100% intent on taking him out and takes him out. It's unbelievable, and I feel so bad for him. Like, that's why I'm so adamant, and I'm talking so much about it, because it's just not, it's not okay. It really just isn't, and I don't know where Wentz is going to be, like where his psyche is going to be after all that, but we're only going to have to wait and see. I love Nitro Freak, but him calling Wentz out for not being able to come back in, and now the other quarterback, but Nitro Freak actually said that. Really. I haven't really been on YouTube that much since the game, but, bro, clearly, and I don't want to diss Nitro Freak because he is one of the OGs on YouTube as far as video making for, he's had on Twitter, okay, because he's one of the OGs. I've watched him for a long time, and I respect him. And I know how he stands on, the whole Wentz and Foles thing. He's always talked about how Wentz is injury prone, how he doesn't believe in him, all that stuff. But you can't say that. You cannot call out Wentz for not coming back in with the injury. That concussions are such, like, those are probably the most dangerous injury, because when you break a bone, your bone can heal. When you tear a ligament, you can get that surgically repaired. It won't ever be the same. But when you get hurt up here, and it's the same thing with being depressed, it's the same thing with any mental illness, concussions are no joke. And there are literal illnesses. The more that you get hit in the head in football, in sports, the more that you're not going to be the same. And if you cannot perform because if you're concussed, that you can't say anything about that. That's just, not only is it unlucky, but it's just unnecessary because it was something that could have been avoided. And we're not talking about the kid staying healthy and winning the game. We're talking about a kid and his health. I'll see what he said, but I'm not gonna say anything bad about what he said either, because again, he's in my fan base. I respect him. I've watched his videos for a long time, but the concussion injury is no joke, and you cannot just say it's unlucky, but he has to come back from it, because concussions are no joke. Those are one of the most dangerous injuries you can suffer in sports. It's been a long fact. Like, I don't agree with that whatsoever. And, man. Let's see what you guys have been saying. I'm going to probably, what time is it? 8:09. I'm going to head out in a little bit, so I'm going to see what, don't make any excuses for Wentz. I'll make any excuse I want to. Listen, I love you, but listen, I'm gonna make the excuse for Wentz in this one, because he couldn't control that, and that he's getting targeted, legitimately targeted. Guy went straight for his head. Not only did that hurt him and could have done worse damage to him, that could have hurt Jadeveon Clowney too. Helmet to helmet contact is no joke either. That's the number one reason for concussions, and that is the number one reason why people get hurt. Both the guy that goes helmet to helmet and the other guy that's the victim of helmet to helmet. Picking Minnesota to make a run for the Super Bowl. I don't want the Vikings in. I'm going to go with Packers. No. 49ers and Ravens. That's kind of what I want, but I feel like the Packers might stun everybody. I feel like the Ravens are a 100% yes, but we'll see. Clowney should be fine. How many times has Ninja Freak been? Yeah. going off of that comment, it's like it's so easy to criticize people for getting hit in the head and then sitting out the game, but it's like for the people that haven't been through that. Like I haven't been through that, but I've been through injuries when I played baseball, and they're no joke. Okay, I had some foot issues, and my feet. They're already messed up with just the genetics that I have. I could always roll my feet because my feet go inwards. Like these are my feet; they go inwards instead of outwards. So I can easily roll my ankle and break my wrist, or break my ankle, just by running. And I had that issue in baseball. I could easily do that. Like literally, injuries are no joke, and people that haven't been through that cannot speak on behalf of people and say they have to suck it up and play through it because it's bullshit, especially if you have no experience, okay? And that's why that pisses me off right there. And a lot of the media pisses me off when they say that, especially if you have no experience in sports. Injuries are no joke, and you cannot just immediately hop back up. We're not living in the 90s where they could take shots every single time they're on the sideline and just whatever, you know? Like, seriously. They can't play through these injuries anymore. It's not the same. Like, whatever. Wentz is soft, Clowney should be fine. Wentz isn't soft, and Clowney will be fined, okay? Enough about the Wentz talk. Clearly, you don't like Wentz, and that's fine. Enough about it. We're moving on to other stuff. Carson Wentz was not the issue. Even when he got hurt, it's not, you can't control it. So, hey, what number pick are we for this year's draft? It goes by order that you're eliminated in the playoffs. So there's 12 teams, and 4 of them got eliminated. So if we do the math, and I'm terrible with math right now, you do 32 minus 12, so 20. The Eagles are at least in the 20s. That's where they'll be at. So we'll see. Feel bad for Drew Brees, my most favorite quarterback, back-to-back playoff heartbreaks. Not back-to-back-to-back. That team has been through like hell and back, and I don't even care because I don't like Sean Payton. I don't like the Saints, but we need to trade down. Hey, we'll figure out what we do. Trade Jeffrey, get some competition. Yes, please, please. I don't know how much value Jeffrey has anymore, but we'll see. We'll see. Just saw Zach Ertz giving your QB a hug. Love it. Gotta love it. Sportsmanship, and they know. They know. So, I got a concussion playing basketball, and it's scary. I wanted to play, but coaches and medical staff denied me. So, yeah. I've never had a concussion, but I know that they're like the freakiest things because you can't see straight. Your ear's going to be ringing. Like, lights hurt, and, like, you can see it in Carson Wentz's, when he was after the hit on that drive, you could see him when they show the replays. He's just over there like, because he's squinting at the lights. His ears are probably ringing. Something's going up in there, and he's just not right, and it is scary. Vikings and 49ers is going to be one hell of a game. I'm hyped for it. I'm excited. The NFC has so many good teams aside from the Seahawks, and I'm excited to see what happens. We need to trade Alshon Jeffrey to the graveyard. The Browns, please. Oh, that'd be hilarious. I would love that. I just want Jeffrey out of this team. I want him gone. My team is pick 2. We're going to get Chase Young, hopefully. Most likely. You guys definitely need him, too, so that'd be really cool. Shout out to ex-Eagle Patrick Robinson for costing the Saints today. There's a lot that went into that game. I just felt like the Saints, they killed themselves as well. Like there's a lot that went wrong, but yeah. Patrick Robinson did not have a good game. Sucks for him. Should have never left Philly, but then again, he would be doing that for us. So I don't know at this point because our corners suck. Roger Goodell was at the game. He saw, but won't do anything about it. Of course not. Whatever. It's such a mess, and we'll be talking about it for the next week or two. But whatever, man. Okay. Who you rooting for in the playoffs now? You want the Texans to take it? I want the, wait for it, Ravens. I'm rooting for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is the second coming of Michael Vick, and I love Michael Vick. And he has those vibes, and he's just literally showing everybody, like, who doubted him just, oh, man. I'm rooting for the Ravens. I want the Ravens. Yeah, I don't like the Niners. Well, I wouldn't mind the Niners winning the NFC because I don't want the Saints to win it. They're out. I don't want the Vikings to win it. I don't want the Seahawks to win it. So for the NFC, if I had to pick teams that I'm rooting for, it's in the NFC. I'm rooting for the 49ers, kind of, and the Packers. In the AFC, I wouldn't mind Chiefs or Ravens, but I definitely want to see the Ravens. I want to see Lamar Jackson, what he can do in the postseason after this crazy 14-2 year he's had. It's been fun watching him, and I cannot wait to see what happens. Hopefully the Giants get something good in the draft, and we'll be back in the 2020 season. Time to revitalize the NFC East. Yes, I want to see it. I want to see a competitive NFC East again. I don't want to see any more NFC leasts. I don't want to see no more 2-14, 3-13 Redskins and Giants. I want to see each and every team compete. I want to see these teams have heart. I want to see these teams do good. Titans, when you can pick your quarterback 80 yard, yeah. I want to see the Titans knock off the. I wouldn't mind seeing them again. AFC is like all up in the air. The Patriots were the only thing that I didn't want to see, and they're out. So, all right. Oh boy, I'm gonna just not deal with that anymore. But Giants should fire Gettleman. Not so great GM. Very true. I agree. I'm surprised that they released Pat Shurmur and they didn't release Gettleman, but if only Sudfeld. Too bad he was inactive. Whatever. Ravens, I hate the Niners. Now I'm counting down the days to spring training. Oh, I can't wait for baseball. Baseball's gonna be fun. I might actually cover it too. Even though baseball is not too great as far as coverage on YouTube compared to football and basketball, I really want to see how the Phillies do. I want to see how everybody does. It's gonna be a really interesting season to say the least. Rex Ryan as our next defensive coordinator could be cool, but I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. Schwartz is probably gonna say, and again, it's not like Schwartz has been the biggest person to blame defensively because, let's face it, the corners have been very bad. And we only got 1 sack on Russell Wilson, so I feel like that speaks volumes. And Greg Ward definitely should stay. I agree with that, and I'm hoping that he does because he stepped up in a big way that I didn't expect him to. And I always knew that he had it in him, but hey, here we are now. He did it, and he proved himself, and I'm really hoping that he stays. So, couple more comments, and I'm gonna head out because I am tired. I want to move away from the Eagles. I want to take a break. Well, I'll continue to talk about them. I just want to take a break from talking about today's game. I want to move forward. I want to project into the future and watch the rest of the postseason and enjoy the rest of the football season. So, Grow is gone. Jared has those. Please, no. Read and draft for corners. Yeah, we should go after the big needs. And on defense, it's corner and linebacker for sure. So, man, I'm mad it went down this way. Sad football's over, yeah. But yeah, at least we won the NFC East, right? At least it's something. We did it with nothing. Carson Wentz has that on his resume. He definitely did it, and he deserved it, but he deserved more. And it's a shame, but hey, here we are. All right, guys, I'm going to head out because I'm getting a little tired. But thank you all for tuning in and talking about the game with me and discussing things that went right and wrong. And I'll be active a lot this offseason to talk about the future because, yes, Sean, they need a lot of help. Pressure is definitely on Howie Roseman, and we got to see what we do with the offensive coordinators and stuff. What's your takeaway from the season? My takeaway is that the Eagles and this team have a lot of heart, and that will never change. There are definitely changes that need to be made, but this team still has a bright future. And Carson Wentz, my man, you believe in God that that He has a plan for you, man. There is definitely a plan for you. You will definitely have another shot in the postseason. Now it's on to the rest of the playoffs, Super Bowl, Eagles offseason. Sixers need to rally and get off of their losing streak. And, man, hope everything turns out great. What do I stream on Twitch? Mostly video games. I streamed Call of Duty Modern Warfare last night. I play a lot of Overwatch and Rocket League. But those are the main things. I'm going to be playing with some friends later tonight. So, again, tune in for it. I'll put a community post with the link once I'm about to start streaming. And, yeah, next season's going to be great, guys. Let's keep our heads high. Let's put all our faith in Carson. Please. Because I know he has a lot of questions about durability and all that stuff. This injury was not on him. Not at all. All year long, he's been taking care of himself. The one play that he tries to extend himself, he gets targeted. You can't control that. Only the one player that went for it can control it, and he went for it, and here we are. So, it's going to be interesting moving forward. We have to move forward. I'm going to make another video talking about moving forward because we do. Just keep your hopes high for this team because it's going to be bright future ahead. Trust me. What's my gaming channel? You can find it in one of my community posts. It's just called Sacred. I haven't even been posting on there much. I've just been on Twitch. My Twitch is Sacred Gary. One word. Find me on there. Follow me, and I'll see you guys there. I'll be on there playing some Modern Warfare with some friends in a little bit. So see you there. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Don't take this loss too emotionally, because half the shit we couldn't control, especially the injury. It was bad, but hey, we fought. We still almost won it. We're only down 1 score, so it says a lot about the Seahawks. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Fly, Eagles, fly. Have a good night, guys.